volume was down. All right, now I'm ready. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I am your host, Rod, joined as always by my lovely blonde co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Tuesday. We took yesterday off.
Yes.
But yeah, we're live on a Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. If you are a fan of This Too Much, the TV show recap podcast that me and Bossy Igby do, it has its own feed. It's everywhere you get this podcast. Just put in This Too Much. But we just did a recap of episodes 1 and 2 of the final season of Atlanta today. So that's out there. Content. Y'all know what it is. The official weapon of the show is
The taser.
and the unofficial sport,
Bullet ball.
a bullet ball extreme. And I mean, listen, guys, you know where to go. All right, you know what to do. This podcast is for all the people out there that love podcasting and love Black people. It's really that simple. And we like to come together and talk about things. And we have segments. And today is no different than that. We have the segment that we all hate talking about, the segment that's slowly going away because no one gives a fuck. Coronavirus news. Coronavirus.
Again? Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dummies expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault the motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault the motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit. I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kumpo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans. Man, damn. Looks like it's no true holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of Black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus. Yeah. Fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe. Yeah. So fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe. Yeah.
Coronavirus news. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
A German man was convicted of murder after killing over mask rules. We still doing that?
What?
Man, shout out. See, this is why America
keeping that same energy.
This is why America was smart to get rid of all the mask rules. Remember when we used to cover like a murder a day? I guess Germany keeping it real, keeping it 100. They like keep your mask on. But nah, the killing actually happened last year, September 2021. It was in the western town of Idar Oberstein. It shocked the country, as I'm sure Appia will write in to let us know. She lives there.
I can see it shocking the country.
She's gonna let us know how far this town is from her house.
Yeah.
And she's gonna tell us what the property values are.
Please do.
The defendant also was convicted of illegal weapon possession because he didn't have a license for the gun used in the killing.
He didn't have a license.
Yeah. I mean, but that's I mean, motherfuckers be killing people that don't always have a license for the gun. I mean, happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
some states they go fuck a license.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a ticky-tack thing. Like, okay, you didn't have a license. You still murdered somebody. I think.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that kind of trumps if you had the license or not.
It's like, also, he got in his car and sped away from the scene. It's like, okay, yeah, well, that's messed up. But the murder probably was
a lot more important.
But yeah, they say he acted out of anger while trying to buy beer at a gas station. The 20-year-old clerk refused to serve him without a mask. At the time, Germany required mask use in stores to stop the spread of coronavirus. I guess they don't require it anymore. So shout out to everybody. Police said the suspect, a German citizen identified a local media as Mario N, left the gas station after the dispute, but returned a half an hour later and shot the clerk in the head. Damn, he needed a drink. He initially fled the scene, but turned himself in after the police launched a large-scale manhunt. The state court, that makes no sense. You know what's worse? He can't even use the excuse of, I got drunk.
Nope, because he didn't have no beer.
Yeah.
They wouldn't sell it to him.
He can't even be like, man, that's what happens when I get a little too inebriated, I make bad decisions. Like, no, I made that decision because I couldn't get drunk. It said the defendant viewed the clerk as a representative of the state and its coronavirus policy. It's never good when they start talking about the state.
Mm-mm.
And he decided to make an example out of him after he insisted on the mask mandate. The trial lasted 6 months.
Woo!
Defense wanted manslaughter. They argued that there were limits to how far the suspect, who according to an expert was intoxicated when the fatal gunshot was inflicted. So he was drunk.
Oh, so he was already drunk. He was trying to get more drunk.
He was trying to keep it going.
He was trying to keep the party going. And the clerk was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't keep the party going.
Yeah, but they were arguing that because he was drunk, he couldn't be criminally responsible for his actions.
No, don't nobody want to hear that.
Prosecution had called the court to find the defendant seriously culpable, which would have effectively barred him from early release after 15 years. That's typical for people in Germany, given life sentences. Judges didn't think so. So a life sentence is 15 years in Germany. It's different over there. Listen, when the whole country is 97% white, the laws just be a little different. That's all I'm saying. Metro Health is offering $100 HEB gift cards to all COVID-19 vaccinations and boosters. This is in Texas, San Antonio. So basically, if you go get a booster, they'll give you $100 gift card to HEB, which I believe is at grocery store.
That's definitely not come from the who's paying for this? The taxpayers, the state? Like,
I don't know. Metro Health is paying for it,
that makes sense. I was like, that government don't give a fuck. So I was like, I know this ain't coming out of state funds.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because that was an early tactic in the pandemic, and people found that it really didn't incentivize that many people. But I was like, try anything. These motherfuckers wilding. But people have been getting, even less people gotten the boosters, even those who have got the initial like dosages. There's even less people that got these third and fourth boosters. So
yeah, because like I said before, it's all for a lot of people, it's just the inconvenience. Like there are people that are concerned and things like that, but for a lot of people, now I have to schedule time off work. Now I have to go. And, a lot of times to get these shots, you either have to go to your doctor, you have to go to like your CVS or your pharmacies and things like that. And for a lot of people, it's out of the way, or you might not have a car or whatever the case may be. And so for some people, it's just a pure hindrance versus
to get the booster.
Yes.
I don't think so. I think those percentages are very small.
Agreed.
I think we keep harping over very small percentages of people. A lot of people just don't want to get it.
I agree too.
That's it. I know people who got the first booster that don't want this one, or don't want to get it yet, or holding off, or whatever. Like, people are just out here right now. I really don't know. A lot of people have had COVID. So then they have like the belief that having COVID and being boosted means they definitely protected. Like, people just back out here. I don't, this kind of feels like when we were talking initially and people would be like, well, black people can't afford to get or something. It was like, some people just don't want it, and we need to come to grips with that.
Agreed.
But yeah, the WHO chief said that the end is in sight for the pandemic. We're not there yet, but the end is in sight.
Yeah, and I agree. And like I said, how I feel about it is almost irrelevant. They say it's almost over. That's what it is, because the world has said fuck it. As far as I'm concerned, it's still out there. It will still be grappling with this for years to come.
Yeah.
It's going to be, like the flu. For a lot of people, it's not there yet. A lot of people just assume and they just say it's like the flu and they just keep it trucking, but it's not there yet. Like, the numbers have not gotten to the point where you can still say it's like the flu, because it's not. Because last time I checked, I don't hear nobody talking about long flu. You get the flu, it passes through your system, and then the bitch gone.
But yeah, he basically didn't say this to tell people to relax. He said it to tell people to be more vigilant. He said now's the time to run harder and make sure we cross the line and reap the benefits of all our hard work. And they want countries to like strengthen their policies for COVID-19 and future viruses. He urged nations to vaccinate 100% of their high-risk groups and keep testing for the virus. The WHO said countries need to maintain adequate supplies of medical equipment and healthcare workers. We expect there to be future waves of infections, potentially at different time points throughout the world, caused by different subvariants of Omicron or even different variants of concern. So yeah, I don't know. I think people just saw the headline and ran with it, like, no more COVID.
Right. And the people that did that are the people that they have been tapped out. Like, it's a lot of people that, because just people, period, when it comes to shit like this, most people aren't made for the longevity of something like this. And so we live in a world where everything is instant, everything is now. We live in the world of the internet, TikTok, everything is short, everything is condensed and in bite size. And so for a lot of people, you know, those first few months they was at home like, okay, cool. And then they was like, okay, time to go out. And when it was time to go out, it was time to go out and stay out for some people, you know. And for some people, they go, no, I'm still going to follow the rules. But but I can't speak for anywhere else, particularly in America. Once you start lifting laws and telling people they can go back to normal and jobs start making these mandates to go back to work, people are going to be like, fuck it. And like I said, we talked about this, but like I said, it's something that I have to get over for myself, because I'm not going out there full-fledged raw dogging it and just be like, fuck it. I can't do that. I refuse to do that at this period of time. I'm not saying that one day I won't, but right now I'm not doing that. But I understand people that are, you know, particularly people that have gotten vaccinated and boosted. If you've gotten all your shots, you're just like, fuck it, you know. But there's some people that I never want to take the shot. You can't force them into nothing you can do. I just happen to be a person that's, like you say, I happen to be in a place of privilege where my job did require me to go to work and things like that, and I'm not being forced to go back to the office. So my perspective and point of view is more conservative when it comes to shit like this than other people.
COVID lockdown blamed for increase in severe common cold in kids. And this is predicted because, you know, people haven't been around each other. People haven't been getting just regular sick, which your body kind of is always fighting off something, and then that's how you strengthen your immune system, and you know how it adapts and all this stuff. But since there's really been no need for your immune system to kick in if you've been, you know, not around people and masking and shit, a lot of times, you know, people's immune systems are not that strong, and so now kids are getting more common colds, and they're becoming more severe because they haven't had colds in a while.
Okay, I can see that, particularly for children, right? Because they haven't been around each other. They haven't been introduced to a lot of germs that you naturally would be introduced to just being a kid. And so your body doesn't fight, don't know how to fight against these things. And, you know, children are developing and things like that. And even for adults, there are adults, you know, because everybody's been wearing masks and things like that. You know, some adults be like, hey, I haven't had allergy problems in a while. I haven't had, you know, a cough or a cold and stuff in a while. You know, I can't speak for nobody else, but I've even realized you have people, even when you're out and about in public, you have people like clear their throats, but you don't have like you used to have that. You don't hear that anymore. And when people start taking off their masks, they're bringing it to the faces, you're gonna get that more. People just coughing and stuff like that. Like that's going to go up because people are going to be catching, you know, like the children catching bugs and shit like that they otherwise would not have caught.
Yeah, so they say they've seen a large number of young children and infants with respiratory illnesses that we usually see in the summer, than they usually see in the summer. And some require hospital and ICU admissions. Yeah, so that's and who knows, it might take a while for society kind of bounces back to like that normal level of kids always being sick, but not, you know, but their system can handle it,
right? And not being as sick, or if they're sick, it'd be like they catch something for like 2 or 3 days,
yeah,
versus, you know, now it's taking them down a little longer.
Syphilis is back. That's right, y'all. Syphilis cases in the US surged by 26% last year.
What is happening?
It's the Horn 20s, Karen. We out the house, we outside, and syphilis is right out there with us. CDC data shows 26% spike in new syphilis infections in 2021 because we are fucking. Experts say the U.S. failed to respond to the epidemics of STDs. Well, I mean, how many epidemics you want us to respond to? Damn, make up your mind. Okay, we don't got time for all this. Good grief. They stayed trying to pressure us into responding to all these epidemics. Yeah, they said it's out of control. There's a rise in a bunch of STDs.
I can believe that because for a lot of people, they're actually getting out and doing things that they otherwise wouldn't be doing, if they would have been in a house, and people want to be around people. That's just human nature.
And fuck them, Karen. Not just be around them. They want to have unprotected sex. Okay. Yeah. The HIV is up 16% from last year.
Oh no.
The syphilis rate, the last time it was this high was 1991.
Wow.
Then they got monkeypox there. Some people are saying it's STDs. Oh yeah. But they mentioned that in the article. So they're looking for new ways to kind of counter this, like home tests for some STDs to make it easier for people to know if they're infected or not. So yeah. Whew, it's out here, y'all. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all having a lot of fun.
Child, honey, if that's the case, you might as well, particularly being a woman, go ahead and get you some double D's and call it a day. Like, that ain't gonna give you no STDs.
DOJ department, the DOJ is charging 47 scammers for allegedly stealing $250 million from the pandemic food program that was meant for needy children. Damn, Brett Favre stay busy, don't it? Good grief. How you get on this? The scheme, which totaled $250 million, is the largest ever uncovered.
Oof.
I think one of the things people forget is that the early part of the pandemic, these type of responses came from the Trump administration.
Right.
And the Trump administration do not believe in regulation. And I would not be shocked if, a lot of the names on here are people that, have ties to like either Republicans or Trump because they knew like we can go in here and get it.
Of course, that's how you had a lot of small businesses go out of business because most of the small businesses that was supposed to receive these loans, they never got that money because you had these big ass businesses swoop in, getting these billions of dollars, and then some of them were like, "Oh, my bad." That's why they got called out. Some was like, "Fuck it, I'm not giving anything back." Yeah. And the Trump administration never stepped in and be like, "Hey, y'all can't do this." There was no rules or regulations on who could get it, who can't get it, prioritizing, the small businesses. Like there are some businesses in a lot of communities that are literally generational wealth is just gone. Whole communities are just devastated because they was like, we just did not have the money and we could not stay open.
Yeah, they said like one organization called Feeding Our Future was a Minnesota-based nonprofit. It did distribute $200 million supposedly of food last year. But Amy Bach, who oversaw the program, is accused of recruiting individuals and companies that fraudulently claim to be serving meals to 1,000 children a day. Some of the defendants listed also created shell companies to enroll in the program to serve as sites for meal distribution. In other cases, the agency claims defendants submitted the names of fake kids and then obtained meals and fraudulent invoices and food purchases that never occurred.
You're right, because they can track that because they go like, who's your vendor? Who did you buy this from? And do these companies exist? Like, I mean, shit like that is an easy investigation, like if you're willing to dig.
It's wild because they skimmed 18 million off of it, it seems. Which means like they did help a lot of people. But it's just so, did they help all the people just so you could get the 18 million in kickbacks and all this was just a clever way to try to disguise it? Because they always count the money.
Yeah, that's the thing. They always count the money. And, it's one of those things where people have such short-term memories to, like you say, a lot of this shit did not start under Biden.
Yeah.
A lot of this shit started underneath Trump, and then it rolled downhill from there. That's why you have Biden and them investigating and busting people, and because they was like, you didn't have no business doing this.
Yeah, and that's heard in the pictures. Like, that's crazy, man. was out here using the babies to get to the paper.
Get to that money.
A scammer gonna scam. That's what I always say.
For real.
All American adults under the age of 65 should be screened for anxiety, experts say. Mostly because they said an estimated 20% of Americans ended up suffering from the condition, but anxiety rates surged during the pandemic.
I can see that. I know it did for me.
Yeah, I mean, every time I do this segment, you talk about it like I'm personally trying to get you to take your mask off.
I know.
And clearly I'm not.
No.
But, I mean, I wear a mask, but every time we have to do 5 minutes of why Karen would not take off a mask.
I'm sorry. I know I feel like a broken record.
But that's the anxiety talking, I think, because I mean, I don't think anyone, at least in this house, is demanding you do anything.
No,
it's all like, I'll take off my mask over my dead body. You can't make me. I think that's anxiety talking.
I never thought of it about it like that, but that's a true statement. And I keep saying it, but I actually need to schedule my appointment and get my ass. I'm not gonna do like I'm not gonna go out here and go against somebody done me wrong, but I need to go see a therapist. I'm not doing none of that shit. But and I think that would help me process this a little bit better, because like you say, it for me, I'm not even gonna lie, it's like a trigger for me, and I can't explain it, and I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think a lot of people could use it at this point, because a lot of people have PTSD at this point. Some people probably had some forms of anxiety and stuff before the pandemic, and the pandemic is just one of those things. And I mean, in addition to that, you had a whole fucking insurrection and daily fights over like your right to have a child or not. Like it's a lot of stuff happening that I think would trigger people reasonably. So they said, yeah, and then grief. How many people lost people in this pandemic, family members, especially if you Black. So I think a lot of that stuff is coming up too.
Yeah, and I didn't really process it like that. I didn't lose any family members to COVID or anything like that. But I do think that with my mother passing like right before COVID, like that shit kind of impacted me. Not trying to funny more than I thought it would. And I try to be very
cognizant
of that and those decisions and things like that, and like how I respond and stuff like that. So I think those things do play a factor, because in the reality it has been a lot, and particularly here in America, I can't speak about the other parts of the world. We've been taught, get back to normal, get back to normal. Everybody's in such a fucking rush to get back to normal that nobody wants to look at them being personally traumatized, their children being traumatized, communities being devastated because some of the people that meant a lot to these communities have passed. Nobody wants to, address any of these issues. Nobody wants to address, because people are feeling all types of things. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are mad. They're sad. They're depressed. They're feeling all these things. And the world just tells you, fuck your feelings. Let's just get back to normal and act like this shit never existed. We're not going to address it anymore. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We're going to tell everybody, take their mask off, go on in here, work these 40-something hours a week, and then get back in the grind. Go ahead and get into more debt and get the fucking economy running when people have been through some shit and it needs to be acknowledged.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been going through it even before the pandemic and shit. I think the world's always been like that. But I think also people had a lot of time to sit with themselves. And, I think also a big effect of this is that a lot of our interaction went online. And I think online is a minefield for mental health shit. Like, we haven't studied it, really. We're still studying it, as we don't have a lot of conclusions, but we do know stuff about how it can make you depressed and angry and traumatized and all this shit, and people take advantage of it. And I think that's got to be a huge part of this. So yeah, I definitely want to I definitely think people should at least look up what anxiety is and some of the side effects of it and how it can manifest. I think most people look at it as like some type of crippling thing that like you just start crying like this is us and ball it into a knot. But a lot of times it's not like that. But
No,
yeah, it just people should look it up.
and it shows up differently in people in different ways. I didn't really understand or knew what anxiety was, because it's almost like a word just kind of just thrown around, and a lot of people probably don't know what it is, particularly if you've never experienced it. But I never realized what it was until the pandemic, because I started realizing certain things would just make me anxious. I've come a long way, because it was a lot of mental hurdles. But Roger would tell you, I didn't even want to go outside for a while. So that was anxiety speaking, so it was to the point where it was just really extreme. Well, I was like, well, bitch, they say it's outside. Roger was like, it don't work like that. A lot of it boils down to misinformation, not getting enough information. A lot of this, I think if it would have been handled better up front, people would have still had anxiety, because it's traumatic to tell everything to shut the fuck down.
It's the world, and
right?
It's even when things were handled well up front, like even in other countries, you still got to deal with this. It's a pandemic. It's affecting everything. People dealing with their own mortality and stuff.
Right.
And then lastly, since the pandemic is over, they finally did it, Karen. They done brought the squirt off back. That's right. Key's annual squirt off is back. They got cash prizes for first, second, and third place winners. Okay. We got
I'm assuming 18 and up.
We got a tremendous judging panel this year. We got John D _ Great, Fresh PRXNCE J. He gonna be there. _ Young VIP. At Still Pretty _ X gonna be there. At To Be Honest gonna be there too. And the categories this year include volume, distance,
okay,
taste.
Who's tasting?
And style. Well, I guess the judges will be tasting, Karen.
Okay, okay.
I guess how else would this work?
I guess style is how unique it is. Okay.
Well, you just like, can you water bend that thing? Like how is it? How you getting that water? All over everybody.
Yeah, because I've seen it go all types of directions. Strings.
Oh, you have? You seen it go all kinds of directions? Okay,
yeah.
So you've been to squirt off before? Okay, cool.
I haven't been to squirt off. I've seen porn.
Oh, okay. I thought you. Okay. Listen, you know me. We can go. I'll get my Gallagher outfit.
No.
Get that poncho going.
Thank you. They have plenty of water.
They said please drink only water a week leading up to the event, and laundry service is available. They thought of everything. Okay, so if you need to go get some clothes dried before you head to the crib, they got you. So I mean, I would bring a change of clothes because I ain't new to this. I'm through to this. But if you don't bring a change of clothes, that laundry service gonna come in handy. So I just want to see, I just glad the earth is healing. Honestly, ATL orgy next. The ATL orgy come back.
Oh, you know
it's over. I'll call the pandemic over when the ATL orgy come back.
That's when it's officially over.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be like Joe Byron out here. Like it's officially over. Everybody do as you want. All right, let's get to some other news. Let's do some LGBTQ news. Oh wait, that's not it. Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's up? Hey, come on in. Clicked on the wrong thing. Hold on. I meant this.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to cruise. Show me what's cool. Riding, caring, baby. LGBTQ news.
They're trying to take us down, but we still around. We lit. They're trying to still shine, but we on the ride. We lit. But you can't do what we thought to do. We lit.
LGBTQ news.
Supreme Court says Jewish University must recognize LGBTQ group. The school said it's had a First Amendment right not to recognize a student group, and the Supreme Court rejected the request.
The Supreme Court?
That's what it seemed to be saying.
Them niggas confusing. They're not consistent.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're not. They make the shit up as they go along because they are not consistent on nothing.
The decision came at a 5-4 vote. Damn, that's way too close. With Justices Alito, Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, and Clarence Thomas issuing dissenting opinions, of course. So who broke?
Who was the person that broke it?
Yeah, it must have been. It had to be two of them because it's a 6-3 advantage right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna say Roberts because he normally is a swing person.
Yeah, John Roberts is a swing one, but somebody else must have broke it too.
Somebody else swung too. Yeah, they did.
Kavanaugh. Yeah, Alito, Gorsuch, Coney Barrett, Clarence Thomas dissented. So Kavanaugh and Roberts broke. That is interesting. Now they did say that Alito, I believe, said it is our duty. What did he say? If the case finds its way back to the Supreme Court on merits, Yeshiva would likely win with a religious liberty argument, which is possible considering the court's conservative majority. Alito also argued the court should have intervened immediately. The order from the Supreme Court is not set in stone, as the New York appellate courts have not yet ruled on the case. As such, the justice said Yeshiva could bring his case back. So we could be back here again and going the other way. All Yeshiva currently has to do, the group said, the members of the school's pride allowance, however, argued that this emergency request really wasn't that emergent and that it has not yet an issue. It was not yet an issue for the Supreme Court to decide. So somebody got ahead of themselves going all the way to Supreme Court. All Yeshiva currently has to do, the group said, is grant the group access to school facilities in the same way it does the 87 other student groups. It does not touch the university's well-established right to express to all students its sincerely held religious beliefs. Yeah, it's so interesting because religious beliefs in this Supreme Court means the right to discriminate.
Yes, it does. It trumps everything else.
Yeah, so that's scary as shit. All right, let's go to the next one. I mean, it's a good victory, but I mean, it's scary that it could just come right back here. GOP candidate says it is totally just to stone gay people to death. I guess he'll be in the Supreme Court arguing religious freedom too. Scott Esk 56 is running in the Republican primary runoff election for a seat at the state house. Oh, he must have lost because I ain't heard his name since. And this article a little old, so let me see. Did he win?
Yeah, go find out if he won.
Yeah.
And this is what happened when it's the extreme to the extreme to the extreme. So nobody has to be reasonable.
Because really they're fighting amongst themselves. So it's just who's the most extreme person. That's what they try to win. He lost. Good. He lost by a lot, 57% to 42%.
Yeah, people was like, no.
It's the Republican primary, so it ain't like it's good, whoever. So he lost the Republican primary runoff election, but he's still in the House of Representatives, it seems. A Republican primary election, 37%, over 35%. Yeah. Unless that's old. So, interesting. I'm not sure what this means. June 28th, 2022. Okay. And then, so they must have, okay. So they had the original, the original primary. Then they had a runoff. He lost the runoff by a lot, but he was number one in the original primary.
Oh, something changed.
So
he made that statement. People was like, no.
When it came down, so it sounds like what happened was, this happens all the time. 3 people ran in the original primary. The third person who had no chance of winning, Valerie Walker, 27%, took away the advantage for the person that came in number 2. But because it was so close, they had a runoff, and then the number 2 person blew this nigga out when it was only just the 2 of them.
Okay, because the third person basically ciphered off votes from the second person.
But this motherfucker was talking about killing people.
And nobody, they don't sound like nobody better than I
guess in 2013, he was commenting in a Facebook conversation about the Pope, saying you can't judge gay people. Esk posted some Bible quotations, including the part of Romans 1 where the Bible says that a long list of people who sinned is worthy of death. Another person asked, so just to be clear, you think we should execute homosexuals, presumably by stoning? Esk responded, I think we would totally be in the right to do it. Ignoring as a nation things that are worthy of death is very remiss. All right. You can't let these motherfuckers be in charge, dog.
It don't stop at gays. It's gonna go on the blacks. It's gonna go on to the Jews. It's, it trickles down.
Florida Christian school says students living gay or trans lifestyles will be asked to leave. That sounds reasonable, right? I mean, wow, you out here being all gay and shit. I think you should leave. Get off the campus. It's the only way. How the straight kids gonna learn, you know?
Does not stop at fighting the Florida parental rights bill.
Oh wait, no, this is a different article. I hate when they do this. A private Christian school in Florida told parents ahead of the coming school year that students will only be identified by their biological sex, and said that students who are found participating in gay or transgender lifestyles, quote unquote, will be asked to leave the school immediately. We believe that God created mankind in his image, male, man, and female woman, sexually different but with equal dignity. The email sent by Grace Christian School Administrator Barry McKean to school community in June reads, that's always interesting because no one's ever seen or talked to God because your head would explode. But they all claim to be like, listen, he is a man and he made all of us in his image, male and female. Well, how is the female made in his image if he's just a man? Wouldn't only the men be in his image and the females will be an abomination therefore unto God? Because that is how you treat them.
Now that's how you treat them.
That would make sense. I mean, maybe that explains something that I just never heard nobody just say out loud, but maybe that's why they be on the women neck so bad. They're like, I was made in his image, okay? And he is he, capital H. But yeah, so now you can't go to school.
They don't care nothing about them tuition fees.
And this is what I said when they said don't say gay. I was like, no, the don't be gay is what they're going with this.
Yes, just say that. Why are we playing around?
The be all end all of this shit is gonna end with don't be gay.
Of course.
Oh, you gay, you trans, you non-binary, you what, you that you're not allowed to be that. Perform heteronormativity for us or else. That's the America we want to go back to. School district bans pronouns in teacher email signatures because they make people uncomfortable. So it's like, sincerely Mrs. Jones, he, she, her.
Yeah, I've
and
seen
people
that
are
before.
people are banning. A school district has banned that.
Who cares?
They also banned pride flags, saying it makes people uncomfortable. It's so funny because which people are uncomfortable,
right?
And whose uncomfort is the one that counts.
That agreed.
You know, you want to rock in there with a bunch of like if you come and have a Confederate flag, does that make people uncomfortable? Blue Lives Matter, does that make people uncomfortable? You know, a Make America Great Again Trump hat, does that make people uncomfortable?
No.
Whose comfort matters?
Agreed.
We're in a world where politics are highlighted. Kettle Moraine School District Superintendent Stephen Plum said it just puts people in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah, and the thing is, who determines what politics is? Because there are a lot of things that people say of politics. I'm like, that's not politics, that's a fact of life.
Right. Yep. Saying Joe Biden won the election is political.
Nigga, he did. What the fuck are we talking about?
The expectation is that teachers and administrations, will not have political flags or religious messaging in their classroom or on their person. This expectation includes pride flags, Plum said. He also said Black Lives Matter flags and Make America Great Again signs are included in the ban. So, hey, they finally admit the opposite of Black Lives Matter and pride is Make America Great Again.
Yeah, and they probably did that because they was like, if we're gonna get rid of it, we have to be even across the board. It's still fucked up, but
it just reminds me of what I always say about like ESPN, when people will get mad that like they're telling some of these people that they have there not to talk about, you know, certain topics that I agree with, you know, Black Lives Matter, and I said, yeah, and I feel you. but you know why they're doing it, right?
Right.
It's not even if you agree or disagree. Let's say that they're that short-sighted and it's just they want a police speech they don't agree with. I mean, then we know what it would look like. Then it would look like you're allowed to say the things that I disagree with. But ESPN wasn't doing that. They were trying to get everybody to shut the fuck up.
Right.
Now it wasn't working, obviously, because people are human and they're gonna fucking talk. And half the shit that's happening on the field these days is happening off the field these days, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting because I understood ESPN's plight.
Right.
I can't let you go off because then I got an equal and opposite, let's say, Steele go off or Kirk Schilling go off.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't have everybody tit for tat going at each other on Twitter, going on their podcasts and shit.
Y'all co-workers, like we have a fucking company to run here.
Right. So I kind of can understand that. I think what's interesting here is that they even put the MAGA flag in it.
A lot of times
Because that's an admission they normally do not make, which is that this flag is to make people uncomfortable. But anyway, yeah, it's still, I think Pride and Black Lives Matter are things that they're aspirational things that should be celebrated and promoted. So it's just sad that, you know, that it comes to that. Let's see. Tom Hanks talks about whether he'd be able to star in Philadelphia role as a straight actor in modern times. He says no, and rightly so. So he was what was he talking? Speaking to the New York Times about his 2 award-winning terms as a gay lawyer with AIDS in the 1993 legal drama Philadelphia, and as a man with disabilities in the 1994 comedy drama Forrest Gump. He took the position that in the present, straight actors shouldn't be playing gay actors. When asked whether a film like Philadelphia Forrest Gump wouldn't get made today because they would be mocked and picked apart on social media, he quickly brushed off that notion. There's nothing you can do about that, but let's address, could a straight man do what I did in Philadelphia now? No, and rightly so. I find this interesting because, one, they clearly were setting him up to do the, you know, these cancel culture, woke mob. They were setting him up for that for sure, with the way that question was phrased, like, because, you know, social media, right? And he was like, nah, first of all, skip your question. Not even gonna answer that. Second of all,
Right. Don't nobody give a fuck about them. They complain about everything.
Yeah. But the actor who was next slated to be in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis noted that the whole point of Philadelphia was don't be afraid, and that part of how audiences at that time were able to engage the movie was because his leading character wasn't played by a gay actor. Now he thinks the times are different, with the authenticity of a performance more important. One of the reasons people weren't afraid of that movie is that I was playing a gay man. We're beyond that now. I don't think people would accept the inauthenticity of a straight guy playing a gay guy. He went on to defend those who argued that casting gay actors in gay roles or disabled actors in disabled roles is something Hollywood should be doing. It's not a crime. It's not boo-hoo that someone would dare say we are going to demand more of a movie in the modern realm of authenticity. So, you know, it looked like he's on board. You know, I mean, you can obviously make the argument he's older now and he's reaped the benefits of playing those roles. And those movies are like iconic and burned into the memory of cinema. So, you know, you could definitely make an argument of like, okay, but if with the next 30-year-old Tom Hanks turned down the role of a lifetime, blah, blah, blah. But I think also he makes a good point about the times moving on.
Yes. Right.
And that I don't think people would necessarily reward those depictions. And I'm not even saying it wouldn't be Oscar worthy, or I don't think I agree with the idea that like you have to be the kind of person you are portraying in a I think that's where the acting comes in.
Agreed.
And I do understand some people, like, you almost have to acquit yourself then. Like, then you better be so good that people go, yeah, you know what? I don't like blackface. Robert Downey Jr. blackface is great. Like, you have to either be that fucking good or you gonna get roasted up for this shit.
Agreed. And it's also one of the things to where the standards then and the standards now are not the same, and that's valid. And a lot of times people like to talk about shit like that shit don't matter, but it actually really, really, really does matter. And it's one of those things where back then they probably wouldn't even consider a gay person for the role, even if they would have tried. They'd have been like, no, you know. And so now is the time to do these things because the public and the people demand more. But it's like a catch-22 with that. You don't give them the opportunity, and then when they do get the opportunities, people trash their acting. They trash everything they do like it's the worst fucking shit ever. But you go, well, for a lot of these people, this might be their first time. You know, they're breaking into or getting into these roles because they never have had that opportunity. And what I don't want to happen is, in my opinion, what happens a lot of times, what they will do is just don't come out with roles for the people at all. Like how they do, like they kill me with every time I fucking turn around, it's a goddamn a movie to the moon or World War II movie. Ain't no niggas in it. They purposely do that. Like why do you do that? Because you don't have to worry about any diversity.
And NJL Covana go see it. Here's the thing I'm saying now. I think because we don't live in a fair society, in a fair world, people like to make these arguments sans context, sans the real world. So they'll say like, well, if a gay person wants to play a straight actor, I don't have a problem with that. And I'm like, yeah, we should not have a problem with that. The thing always happens that once somebody comes out and says, I'm gay, then it's like, you can't play a straight actor.
Right.
You can't, like, you know, it's much harder to see those roles go to those people. I mean, I've watched some movies where it's happened, but it's very rare. Like Zachary Quinto came out and I think he was in like a Hitman movie or something, and he played Spock or something, but it just
it
was like
Heroes too, right? Ain't that
yeah, but that was before he was out.
Okay,
but it's like the calls seem to stop coming or something,
right?
And he was a legit like up and coming star, leading man type. You know, I have seen the dude that played Doogie Howser. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name right at the time, but I've seen him be like get cast in some movies as like a straight dude or a leading man type role and whatever. And I always thought that was cool. Like I just don't know why that can't be the case, period.
Right.
Because I think if that was the case, I think you see a lot less resentment about a straight person playing a gay person, because it's like, well, yeah, I mean, people play who the Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah, people just play who the fuck they want to play. You know, but the fact that Neil Patrick Harris is essentially an exception to the rule,
right? And
anybody else out here being openly gay is like you're flirting with your career being fucked up. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's so in Hollywood in America is just so weird because they love the idea of like a man who challenges masculinity by, you know, like Timothy Chalamet. A wisp of a man who wears dresses on the cover of magazines and shit. They love that idea. But if he were to actually be like, and I'm gay, guys, it'd be like, oh, everybody drop these roles. This motherfucker can't be cast in nothing else. They ain't gonna be no Doom Part 2. Like it's that kind of thing. And I think maybe it's typecasting people, because then you have, once you are out, then you can only be in gay shit, gay projects. You got to play a gay dude.
And that got to be nerve-wracking for them too, because they're like, I just want to act.
Yeah, I think, but you know, if I'm being completely transparent, when I watch something, I mostly only care if the person's acting. Unless their acting is distracting, I normally don't care. Like I don't go back to check to be like, is that guy gay? Is that guy straight?
I've never been like that, right?
Even the roles where people put on like bodysuits and shit like that, if it don't look bad, I normally don't care. And I'm say that as a fat person. I'm not like upset that a fat person didn't get the part. Right. I just literally got, either you did a good job or you didn't. Either the movie sucked or it didn't. And if it sucked, then it's like you wasted that part and that opportunity. It's when the woman who played Gamora, what is her name? The woman plays Gamora, Zoe Saldana. When Zoe Saldana did that fucking prosthesis to play dark-skinned Nina Simone, that shit just, it looked ridiculous. It seemed ridiculous.
And she got roasted.
I think a white woman wrote the movie. Like, it just seemed like a bad idea the whole fucking time. When you see the picture, it's like, why would you even do this shit?
Right.
And so of course you get clowned. Of course you get clowned. But if by some miracle it would have looked okay, if she would have did a good job somehow, I think you just sit back and go. I mean, for me, I sit back like, all right, she acquitted herself. I feel like you're just putting yourself on the clock when you do this. And so Tom is smart not to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, but he also is at a point in his career, he don't have to take those risks. One of the parts that people never talk about in this Hollywood shit, and it's all because on the outside looking in, a lot of us are kind of jealous and we feel like everyone should feel like, you know, they got enough. But the truth of the matter is, we normally don't talk about the fact that it's such a nepotistic, fucked up, not based on merit situation, that a lot of times people don't feel like they can make a choice and say no to somebody for an honorable reason. A lot of times they're like, I'm afraid. And like, no one wants to make this case. And I'm sorry, Nick Jew, but I have to, you know me, I'm on fair empath. But like, when Scarlett Johansson was taking all those fucking roles, one thing nobody wanted to say was, yeah, because she's over 30 and she keeps thinking this is it.
Yeah, one day they dry up.
Yeah, like
the calls stop coming
it's
in.
very easy for us to say, you know, don't take it. You got money. You are somebody. You Scarlett Johansson. You fucking Marvel shit. We saw what happened with her Marvel movie. Like, she was on the cusp of getting thrown out of Marvel, basically, to the wolves, because some dude up top decided, yeah, I'm not fuckable enough anymore, whatever.
Right.
And it was so the scarcity that a lot of these actors are operating with in a rigged, racist ass, like homophobic, it's got a lot of people scared to say, yeah, I turned this project down, man. It's not for me. I'm not gay. This should go to a gay actor. And then once you take that next step, which I don't think anybody wants to admit, a lot of shit, if it's waiting on a gay actor, they wouldn't make it.
Right.
Which is fucked up. Like, it's very fucked up. But there's a lot of shit out there where they're like, well, if we can't get Will Smith to play a gay person, this movie's not getting greenlit. Like, we can go out and get a gay person to do the role,
act their ass off, but and they're gonna say no.
Right. And so Hollywood's so fucked up already that I think individualizing it out to one actor's choice and each actor's choice is already coming at this from the wrong side of things. It really seems like a bigger systemic issue that starts with studios and the heads of studios and the people that run shit. But we keep going to, this actor said they can play this character. It's like, okay, but I definitely feel him, and I think it's very honorable what he's saying, but it's also very easy for him to say now.
Right. And also, like you said, if everything was fair and balanced, it wouldn't matter. Like, literally anybody could go play any role. And as actors, people feel like, if I can act, why can't I play the role? If I can do the job, you know, like, this is what the job requires. And if I could do the job and I outperform you for this role, and you are gay and I am straight and I just happen to outperform you, it is what it is. But we live in a world where, for a lot of those people, their roles are far and few. And if the role does come up, they're not even considered for the role. And like you said, that becomes a bigger systemic issue.
I think also people don't want to suffer through the fact that you can't give people 100-year, the opposite of a head start. You know, you can't marginalize and keep people out of the industry for, look, Hollywood's been around for like 100 years. So you can't do that to people and then be like, now be great.
Right.
And I think that's what happens with a lot of commentary. I remember season 1 of Pose, all the these trans people can't act and all this shit. And it's like
saying that too.
Yeah, and it's like, well, number one, it's interesting that we've decided what an authentic trans, like what the depiction would look like.
Right.
You literally do not know or care to know people like this. So when you say this person is not acting how they would act, what are you comparing it to? You're comparing it to a bunch of straight people's what they've decided is good acting as a trans person or whatever, right?
Right.
So you already got that behind the 8 ball. 2, you got people that's been marginalized, pushed out. They just now getting their first shot. And unlike a lot of straight people, they're not guaranteed a second shot. And a lot of times they haven't had the reps. You know, it's like when they throw a fucking a kid out of high school straight into like the NFL or something. You'd be like, well, he's sorry. It's like everybody's sorry at 18 in the NFL.
Right.
We just you have to kind of get out there and take your lumps. And because the game is so rigged, can you take your lumps and get another chance? It's not likely, you know. So I think those are the things that happen. And you know, like I watched this movie They Them, which I literally thought was terrible. I didn't think it was a good movie, but some of it felt like, I mean, some of these people, this might be their first fucking role. You know, like what do you do with that? Like, I'm not gonna lie and be like it's great, but at the same time, I'm not gonna begrudge them because the movie thought it was more important to be like everyone playing these characters has experienced this or they have lived this life. So yeah, anyway, shout out to Tom Hanks though. He's trying to be a good ally.
Because at the end of the day, people want a good product, kind of regardless of who plays the roles.
Tiffany Haddish, this is no longer LGBTQ news. I feel like we need a sound effect for the
to let people know we transitioning.
yeah.
Regular ass news, y'all.
Regular news. Time for regular news. It's regular news.
Regular ass news.
It's just regular news. All right. Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears, the child molestation suit was dismissed. Jane Doe speaks out. The woman who sued both of them has issued a statement because it was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled again, which made me want to think Tiffany gave him the money. It could not have been worth all this.
No, it wasn't worth the headache.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happened, it wasn't worth the headache. And I know a lot of people, get on their high horses. Whatever you didn't do, why'd you pay? Because you don't want to have to deal with it constantly fucking being around. Sometimes you're like, fuck it, here's the money, go away.
I mean, just the bad PR from it.
Correct.
There's already a hive of people that don't want to like her or haven't liked her online and been looking for something. And this is that. And then, of course, the overstatement of harm that so many people were doing online. You saw people legitimately acting like they were going to prison.
Right.
Like they are pedophiles. They raped them children. Like there's no, even if you watch that sketch, you know that's not what happened. But you know that it can't be worth it to have that out there if you're Tiffany Haddish. So but keep in mind, Ari Spears ain't got no money. So even if it was a quote unquote shakedown to see alleged, shaking you down for what? Like you're not on
pocket change,
right? But yeah, the woman who sued both of them has also issued a statement. My family and I have known Tiffany Haddish for many years, and we now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us. We wish Tiffany the best and are glad we can all put this behind us, which sounds like I got that check, you know, because it's not like this was a new thing. The timing was very weird with Ari Spears talking shit about Lizzo.
And this is something they have been doing for a very long time. Like they've been kind of out there talking about this for a while.
What do you mean?
Like, didn't you say the person has tried before and would no lawyer take the case? Like
I don't know. No, I don't remember saying that. Okay. I just know that it happened a long time ago, and then they represented themselves as a lawyer, which, you know, not saying it's frivolous, but definitely feels like if you really are going after somebody like this, you probably want to get like a lawyer.
Agreed.
And then the way it was written, and it just felt like designed to put the pressure on, which a lot of lawsuits are designed that way, you know. And when you see the skit, at least a little bit I saw, Tiffany Haddish is barely in it. But then when you read the description of what is being alleged, it's making it seem like her responsibility on the set that day was to protect these children, and she failed by even letting them be in the sketch. So this person basically seems to forgive Tiffany Haddish, which will let me allegedly, presumptively makes it seem like maybe she the one that paid it off, because Ari Spears is not mentioned.
Mm-mm.
And it was just a horrible time to be connected to Ari Spears in any way.
Right.
So it's even worse.
Yeah, and the thing is, she never did. Don't sound like she ever worked with him or did anything like that again.
Right. But yeah, at first they both said it was like a shakedown, and then later Tiffany Haddish said she regretted being part of the sketch. Because it's even if it look, the ugly truth is, even if it is a quote unquote shakedown, it's a shakedown for something you were participating in. Like they didn't. Well, I think when people hear it's a shakedown, what they're thinking is like, I said Karen stole the money and she didn't steal the money. It could be a shakedown in that, yeah, Karen stole $20. It was 10 years ago, but I'm just bringing it up now because Karen's worth $7 million and I want some,
Right.
It could be, both things could be true, either
Agreed.
way, sound like it's over as far as that. And I don't think there'll be any consequences because of the way it ended. And also because I don't think, this is fucked up, but I don't think that many people care because everybody was black.
Agreed.
Like, I really feel like if this was like, I don't know, some white star or something, I think white people would have made it bigger news in white circles. But I think a lot of people were able to look at this and be like, oh, that's black people shit. Ari Spears, Tiffany Haddish, like a sketch from College Humor that is already deleted. We don't care.
Mm-mm.
Let's see what else is happening. I don't want to talk about Kanye. I don't care.
Mm-mm.
Herschel Walker says that he's not that smart before Senate debate with Warnock.
No shit.
Why would you say that?
No shit. Anybody that's been listening to your statements know that you are not a smart man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. One, I guess he's gonna go through with this. Like,
I don't understand why for you look stupid and still say you won.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna go through with this shit anyway, which with this debate, and so he's lowering expectations going into it.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find a video.
Don't have no high standards.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, because we've been kind of following you and your comments and things, and no sir.
Yeah, like I can't be too like, I think he knows he's gonna lose. Let's see. Here we go.
So I'm not that smart, and so I'm preparing. I'm this country boy. I'm not that smart, and he's that preacher. He's a smart man. Wear these nice suits, so he's gonna show up and embarrass me at the debate October the 14th. And I'm just waiting. I'll show up, and I'm gonna do my best. So I'm preparing.
Yeah, that sounds more like he's trying to like downplay it, like lower expectations, and then however he performs, he'd be like, I told you they were gonna try to make me look stupid. It's the media doing this to me. I'm a victim, and da da da.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things too where you delayed it long enough where they was like, look, you have to have at least one debate. Like you can't go through this thing and just not debate him. Come on.
My man Adnan Syed from Serial season 1 and maybe season 2.
Season 1.
Just season 1. Okay. I remember maybe it had 2 parts or something.
No, I think they did season 1, and then season 2 was a completely different story. I think each season is a completely different.
Okay,
covers a different story.
But yeah, so he got his conviction tossed out, and a judge ordered his release, and he's in like I think home confinement, but he's out of prison right now.
Yeah, for
22 years, I think.
20 something years.
He's 41 years old now. Yeah, and Marilyn Mosley's the Baltimore State Attorney. Her department was the one that did the press conference and said, yeah, he shouldn't be in here. It said, we're not declaring him innocent, but we are declaring that in the interest of fairness and justice, he is entitled to a new trial, which they probably will not bring. I do feel bad for Heyman Lee's family.
Because it's a real family being affected by this.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about true crime is like everybody kind of becomes content, including people's death and their family. they never participated in any of this shit for Serial or any of the stuff trying to.
Yep, they always declined.
And trying to free him and shit. It was clear that they thought they had the murderer of Hay in jail for her murder. And I'm not saying they were right or wrong, obviously, but that's clearly what they believe. And it definitely has to suck to feel like you had justice, but then people kind of took it away. That being said, I have always felt like whether he did it or not, because I thought, to be honest, I thought he did it. I have always felt like the case in the trial was so bad. Like, it was so bad.
That's what the investigation found out.
Yeah, and the way, just how it was fucked up over and over again for this dude, it just felt like it's that thing where even if he did it, this can't be how you catch somebody. Because it was so flimsy, witnesses that had conflicting statements with their own statements. Obviously people misremembering shit over the years.
And people that actually did the questioning, I guess detectives, kind of find out those detectives had other cases that they've had to overturn and shit like that, and they was involved in this. So it's like a lot of shit kind of that's coming out now.
Yeah, like I don't feel as comfortable as a lot of people that run around like innocent. He didn't do anything.
Right.
But I definitely don't feel like they made their case or he got a fair trial. I'm like, his lawyer was sick and died and shit. Like, so it's been a long time coming, and hopefully hopefully he didn't do this, and hopefully an innocent man is free. I really hope that's the case, because if not, then it's a person that did it, stuck to the lie and got out.
Yeah, and my heart goes out to like that family.
Yeah,
because they thought this was dead. The Serial podcast come out and you basically kick all their pain and memory back up again. Then it kind of dies down over the popularity, and then it comes around and now you're basically kicking it back up in their faces again, and he's out. So a lot of people have teens and they treat it like a mascot in video games and shit like that, but there are real families that are really impacted and affected by this, that has to actually relive this shit. And every time somebody retweets, reposts, put this shit online, this is family grief and pain of their loved one and their family member that they're having to relive all over again. And sometimes I think a lot of people, they don't give a fuck about the family or anything like that, and actually how they feel or what they're going through. And I know that they're opting not to participate, which they have the right to, but my heart actually goes out to them, because at the end of the day, I could see me just wanting justice. Like, okay,
why would I participate in a documentary or a podcast that clearly is on the side of the person I think that did it? Like, there's, because it's not like you're editing it. That's what I remember when we covered this, and I said, like, as a person that makes a podcast product, I can't help but see the product of Serial and how they can kind of manipulate shit to make it seem like, oh yeah, clearly this guy didn't do it. And they probably could do that with someone who did do it. Like, you could do that shit with OJ if we're being frank. Like, that's how OJ got off. But it doesn't mean that this person got a fair trial, or that even if you think they did it, but you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt, then they're not going to be in jail. What I thought was interesting was the brother Younglees did, of course, attend the hearing on Zoom, and he said, "This is not a podcast for me.
Right.
This is real life, a never-ending nightmare for 20 years. Every day when I think it's over or it's ended, it always comes back. It's killing me. It's really tough." Although he doesn't oppose investigation, he said he felt betrayed by the prosecutors. So yeah, we'll see. If any, because now they're saying, well, we got alternative suspects. Are you going to be able to prove the case against them? Because as flimsy as you might think the case is against Adnan, if that was the strongest case they had against somebody, then ain't nobody going to jail.
Right.
So, but yeah, good luck. Let's see. The GOP is trying to get some more voters, Karen, and they doing it by going back to the basics. Hip-hop. They doing a little Republican rap. Okay, so first of
Ooh,
all,
District 12, listen up right
here.
So first of all, this woman looks old as shit.
Right, I was like, who grandma is this? She
Like,
gotta
this
be in her
is-
70s or 80s.
Yeah,
That white hair.
like this lady, like this is one of those that meme of Jeopardy where it's like your girl looked like this gentleman, and it's like, who is George Washington?
Oh no.
Yeah, kind of like Bill Clinton with that haircut.
District 12.
Also, this beat kind of sound like Hootie Hoo a little bit from Outkast. Hootie Hoo, tight like always, tight like
District 12,
always.
listen up right here. There's a new name on the ballot for the Senate this year. My name is Linda Paulson, Republican and awesome. Love God and family and the Constitution. I tried to get another conservative to run. Nobody could do it, so I'm getting it done.
You know what? She kind of spitting. She kind of spitting.
She on beat a lot better than I thought she would be.
This year. My name is Linda Paulson, Republican and awesome. Love God and family and the Constitution. I tried to get another conservative to run. Nobody could do it, so I'm getting it done. I'm pro-religious freedom, pro-life, pro-police, the right to bear arms and the right to free speech. I want less government control and regulation.
Listen, Lin-Manuel Miranda, better watch out.
They coming for you.
She coming for you. She got guns.
And want to stop and expose all political corruption with integrity, morality, accountability, government.
You know what it is? She raps like the like 80s rap. Like
a cool Modi.
Like Will Smith may have written this
Mm-hmm.
back when he first started. Like that's how she rap.
Lead to self-sufficiency and support traditional family as the fundamental unit of society. But in
Man, no black people in this picture of her family.
Of course.
Not like this is like if you turned it black and white, these and said these are the people that came to watch a lynching, I'd be like, that makes sense. Not a black amongst them. Imagine you did marry into this family and then they wanted you to take this picture. Like, what?
No, thank you.
Maybe the black person is behind the camera.
Duh.
Pushing for new beliefs. And just to clarify this, because there's some who can't define this, as a female adult, I know what a woman is.
Okay, now why did they put the new Supreme Court justice picture in there?
I guess she's not a woman.
What does Ketanji have to do with any of this?
Pushing for new beliefs. And just to clarify this, because there's some who can't define this, as a female adult, I know what a woman is.
I don't understand that picture.
Man, see, I'm not gonna lie, you had me in the first half. Okay, I said this Captain Kangaroo white lady can rap. But now I'm having second thoughts.
I love this country. It's a blessing to be free, but freedom comes with responsibility. The Constitution needs to be protected, not changed or disregarded, but resurrected. If you share my...
She should have at least listened to a rap before she did this. Because, like,
Oh, she's never heard a rap in her life.
it sounds like she did this in a studio.
Oh, I know what she heard. She heard the Kids Bop version of rap and thought that's where I needed to go.
She sounds like she was in a studio by herself with just a microphone and not an engineer or a person to be like, ma'am, you need to enunciate. You need to say it louder. You need to memorize it. Like a lot of this just sounds very like it's not even as good as Kids Bop. It's not as good as the classic Top Dat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A top dat, you know, like you need some level of like to it, and it's very like mumble rap. I'm like, I need the Constitution, then you get to the pollution, then you got to do it fast, or we gonna lose a class.
Sound like your math teacher rapping.
Yeah, like she don't believe in herself.
She ain't got no swag.
Yeah.
what I stand for, then give me your vote on the 8th of November. District 12 needs a choice. Let me be your voice, Linda Paulson. Linda Paulson for Senate.
Why is she talking, but no words are coming out at the end. Who mixed this?
No.
Anyway, it's Utah, so that's probably the top 5 rapper to ever come out of Utah.
Gotta be.
Yeah. So, but yeah, she had the bars. You know, she's trying to get that gravy, that old gravy, that young gravy demographic.
Them Republican bars up here. Dropping that hot shit.
All right. So shout out to those people. And I know what a woman is.
Vote for me in District 12.
Right. Vote for me. Cardi B moves to begin garnishing Tasha K's bank account over $3 million owed following defamation lawsuit.
She's like, I want my money.
Press.
Yeah, you wasted my time. Yeah, you're not trying to find it. You see what happened? Your little friends on Twitter tell you everything's all right. This is a prime example of people online and shit like that gassing her up and telling her she was right. Guess what? The court don't give a fuck about your little Twitter friends.
I'm about to sue this woman that made that rap before this. I want to garnish her wages. I'm offended.
Who made that beat, ma'am? That Casio Plus.
What would be worse?
Boom.
What would be worse? That rap or if she like had bars? I don't know. It might be worse if she really was spitting out this motherfucker. I'll be like, oh no, she gonna get the black vote.
Oh no.
Turn this off before she fuck around and some niggas ironically vote her in.
She on beat. She on the 1s and 2s. What's happening here?
If she would have started spitting, I don't know. I might have been kind of scared, but thank God she was black. But yeah, so let's see what else is happening. Shout out to Jay-Z. A Kansas City cop was arrested for alleged sexual assault a year after Jay-Z's advocacy group sued the police department. Jay-Z be helping. Don't nobody want to talk about it. Don't nobody want to admit that Jay-Z be out here helping.
All billionaires are terrible. Okay.
Yeah, just saying.
Eat the rich.
I get it. He's hyper capitalist, but also he does dedicate a lot of that money to the petty of going at the prisons and police and shit. So,
Getting out of jail.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, Jay-Z's team Rock filed a lawsuit against Kansas City Police Department over alleged misconduct and corruption. The 69-year-old ex-cop is accused of sexually assaulting 2 women while acting under color of law. The crimes took place between 1998 and 2002 during his 20-year stint with the department.
So, what does that mean? So he was faking that he was officer or something?
No, while under color of law, I think just means he was acting as a police officer.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he got arrested. And Team Rock managing director said, "We continue to stand in solidarity alongside the people of Kansas City, Kansas, who have been patiently waiting for justice and accountability. The arrest of Roderick Gobolski is a significant step towards creating a safer community, and we applaud the Department of Justice for their commitment, diligence, and thorough work on this investigation." And shout out to having a Department of Justice that, will help and not stand in the way.
Right.
All right, let's move to some other stuff. Let's see, what else can we talk about? You know what? Let's do some white people news.
All right.
That?
Haven't done that. Well,
White people news, we're bringing exciting to the barbecue. We might be problematic or a little bit dim. The sun's really harsh on our fragile pink skin. White people news.
Let's see what the whites are up to. It's normally a lot less taxing. Did you know our man Adam Levine done got caught sliding up in the DMs?
Oh, the dude the Maroon 5 and the dude that used to be on The Voice.
Yes, that's Adam Levine. You knew him.
He got some bops.
Well, apparently he seemed to have a picture perfect marriage. He married a Victoria's Secret angel, and they always showed affection in public to each other. Back in 2017 on the Ellen DeGeneres show, he said, I have the most beautiful wife in the entire world. I'm the luckiest person who has ever lived. And it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the people who love me. Okay. They got a family together. They were looking forward to growing their family together. And he said he wanted a lot of kids. They're expecting a third baby. And they were looking for the perfect baby name until an Instagram model named Sumner Stroh took to TikTok to share a pretty unflattering tale of her experience with Adam Levine, saying they had an affair.
Never been because I've retaken this like 10 times now. Essentially, I was having an affair with a man who's married to a Victoria's Secret model. At the time, you know, I was young, I was naive, and I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now. So I was definitely very easily manipulated. We're in.
Okay, I have to stop this for JL Covan because I already know what he's thinking. It is kind of whack that you can like fuck a married dude to have an affair and then be like, he exploited me. As a
you was a participant too now.
Nobody ever has any level of personal responsibility in this shit. Like, that's the one thing about turning that phone camera towards yourself, boy. It'd be like, listen, a man was shot by me, but I feel like I was exploited. Okay. I was only 29 or whatever. It's like,
no,
come on,
you didn't make a commitment to no marriage, but you did participate.
Yeah, like I don't even think you're as complicit or the quote unquote villain here, but you
agree.
It's like this isn't like journalistic objectivity that you're giving us here.
Right, you're like, I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, like you're about to tell all the business, and then you try to act like, and of course, it's because I'm such a great person.
Yeah, this is what happens when you deal with people and they don't have anything to lose.
Yeah,
you know, because what do she have to lose?
Well, it's not even have to lose, right? It's with social media, we have a lot to gain. You get their attention. You know, I have a story. It's like you see this all the time where like you always wonder like, why is this person sharing that a celebrity DM them?
Right.
And many times you're the one that looks bad because the celebrity didn't really do anything. But they share it anyway to be like, see, you see what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this is just you wanting to make content out of something that kind of seemed private.
Correct.
You know, that woman that shared Amanda Stenberg direct messaging her and then basically acting like she was bullied by Amanda. And you're like,
right. You was like,
what made you share that?
We didn't need to see this. Like, like this is not something that we, and that goes back to everything isn't for consumption.
Yeah, like, yeah, you're trending, but it's not even in a good way. You couldn't predict that would work out bad for you, shitting on this black woman.
Didn't care.
But anyway, back to this. It's just funny that she hit the like, and I was exploited.
I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now. So I was definitely very easily manipulated. Maroon 5 is practically elevator music at this point. So I'm sure you know who Adam Levine is. But Adam and I were seeing each other for about a year.
Yeah, dog. I'm sorry. You can't pull he exploited me as his mistress for a year, dog. Like,
no, you and the thing
you fucked the scumbag for a year. Just say you did that.
And my thing, if you're gonna say it with your chest. Yeah. Like quit acting like he came in and was just like, I'm going to force you to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah, we also know what social media is now. So it's that thing where like I remember this person was like, they made a long thread about the working conditions of their old job and how they didn't like it. But then at the end, they were like, I'm not saying this for anyone to do anything with it. And it's like, well, yes, you are.
You put it out there.
But it's not just why. Yes, you are.
Right.
Don't hide your hand. There is no way for you to talk about this and there not to be repercussions on this company.
Oh, agree.
Everyone is going to be like, what the fuck? Own it.
That's all I'm saying. Own it. Because she wants, it's like she wants the best of both worlds. You want to come out and say I did this, but at the same time you want to be like I was a victim and I had no control.
You're still not as bad as Adam Levine, so I don't even. I mean, you did something kind of fucked up, but it's not like I don't know. I just think people want it too bad when they hit the like, and really, it's like he cheated on both of us. Like, wait, nigga, what? Get out of here. I'm sure his wife is somewhere. Like, man, fuck you.
Right. On both of us. You knew about me. As far as they're concerned.
Right.
I didn't know about you.
I really feel like we were both used. Like, I will fucking cut your face off.
Right. We were both used.
Get out of my house. I got 3 kids. I got a kid on the way. Another way.
After I stopped talking to him over, a period of months, this is how he came back into my life. He said, okay, serious question. I'm having another baby, and if it's a boy, I really want to name it Sumner. You okay with that? Dead serious.
Oh, my. Oh, Adam. Oh, my. That is a lot. That is a lot, buddy. Okay. Shout out to the other people, including in the screenshot, the people that were just texting her and thought they were friends.
Right. Now, all of a sudden, everybody gonna be like, you know what?
Shout out to Balin. It hurts worse today when I drive.
Right. Who had nothing to do with this?
Time sensitive reminder.
Shout out to Daddy at the bottom family.
Yeah, he laughed at an image.
Poor thing. They was like, I was just sending you shit. I didn't know I was gonna be on TikTok.
That's serious. I was like, I'm in hell. Like, I have to be in hell at this point. I mean, my morals were unknowingly compromised. I was completely manipulated. I'm gonna handle this privately. I never wanted to come forward.
What, ma'am?
That's gonna be an interesting story. And well, it's funny though. It's kind of like a not victimless crime, but it's not like there's anything he could say at this point anyway. So even if you were to be like, okay, yes, I'm a piece of shit, I fucked up. Also, she was fucking me for a year, y'all. It wasn't a one-time thing. She knew I had a wife and she didn't give a fuck. He can't say that because we'll just go, shut up, you're a bad man. So maybe she's playing chess, like what's like the ball's in his court, and we don't want to hear that this woman is any type of not great person right now.
Right.
Because obviously I know the implications that come with doing what I do, making money the way I do, and being an Instagram model. So being tied to a story like this, it's like, I know the stereotypes. I had sent...
You weren't tied to the story because it wasn't a story until you made it a story.
Until you made it a story,
So...
right? And like somebody say, and I agree. These new hoes is different. Back in the day, hoes be hoes, but they was some kind of morale or standard. Be like, yeah, I'm hoeing, But
I think I just like me an unapologetic, like, yeah, I fucked your man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I like to say it with your chest, hoe.
Yeah, I'm a little.
I don't like these have it both way hoes. No,
Yeah,
say yes, I fucked your man.
I'm a little old school. I like the home records a little.
Come
bit.
on.
I want that Jocelyn.
I take your man. I mean, come on, let's do this.
Some screenshots recklessly to a few friends I thought I trusted, and one of them had attempted to sell to a tabloid. So here I am. Yeah.
It's just like the Kim Kardashian sex tape. Okay. Not my fault. But that's what started all this. Okay. But then another Instagram model, Allison Rose, claimed the musician sent her similar messages. And one, he reportedly wrote, I shouldn't be talking to you. You know that, right? And another, he called her a hot chick and said she got him hooked.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. He got a type. They're all the same Victoria's Secret 75-pound model.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's his jam.
Yeah, that's his shit. But also it's interesting because people were clowning him for not having good pickup lines. But he's Adam Levine.
Who the fuck he got to have good pickup lines for? You show up.
He's rich, got 8-pack abs. He got mad like Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
I think he hasn't had to have great game for a long time at this point. Like,
yeah, why would
he's been getting fucked off of being Adam Levine for a long time at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had to be charming. He's like, I'm Adam Levine, and these are my abs. And then it's like, yeah, of course. Like, what?
Yeah, like
That's hilarious.
Why should I need to put any effort? Effort for what? For why?
I guess it's the one area all the regular people can feel better than him. Like, I would never say. It's like, oh, what you be sending? Grand Rising Queen? Look like, nigga, you not elite. You're not special.
No, you sure ain't special.
Like, get the fuck out of here, man. This nigga, he Adam Levine, dog. People been wanting to fuck this man. That's the hard part, is he got married and nothing stopped for him. I'm sure there's a lot of people like, I'd still eat you up with a spoon, and he's like, oh boy, I'm getting back on these streets. But yeah, so he, of course, on September 20th, took to his Instagram stories to address the accusations, explaining that he crossed the line. I use pure judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period of my life. In certain instances, it became inappropriate. I've addressed that and taken proactive steps to remedy this with my family. I wonder if he did have an affair with this woman, as much evidence as she seems to just have around, that that's a bold move, Cotton. If you lying,
because like you say, because I guarantee if you send any pictures with your face and you send any dick pics,
dog, she take a picture while y'all sleeping in the bed together.
Right. If y'all,
that's the move. I know. I'm on the IG streets.
If y'all sexted anything, it's gonna be on the record.
Yeah, I don't know what. So he better be telling the truth about that one, because we will find out.
Right.
And these other women coming forward are basically saying he DM'd them. So, and that is the only proof she has as of yet. I don't think anyone's saying they slept with them. But my wife and my family are all I care about in this world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make. I will never make it again. I take full responsibility. We will get through it, and we will get through it together, he says. I don't know, Adam.
Yeah, like you said, you better be telling the truth, because if you're not, trust, these new hoes ain't like the old hoes. Everything coming out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you sure?
Because if it's anything out there, trust.
Right.
Like the white lipstick alley will be all on it.
I mean, I guess this love has taken its toll.
Apparently it has.
You know.
What about Jane? What about her?
Songs apparently. About yeah. What about Jane? Not songs about Jane.
Yes. What about her? What about Jane?
Like I said, she will be loved. Okay.
Right.
It's a lot of she's out here. Okay, and they need this love. I feel bad because I have had their songs stuck in my head all day since I read this. You know, Kiwi and fucking and then that he better hope his wife, if he come in the house, his wife listening to Wake Up Call,
he in trouble.
Wake up call. Caught you in the morning with another one in my bed. Like, okay,
that's my jam.
That's how it happens.
Don't care about me anymore.
It won't be soon.
Don't care about me.
It won't be soon before long. Get that divorce.
Come on.
You know what? We knew it. Nothing lasts forever. But I'm not worried about him because I know he's not falling apart.
Nope.
You know, so I'm sure it's gonna be a little harder to breathe around.
Oh, that album is still a bop. But that string of albums are still bops. Don't care what nobody says.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't having sex with him, just DM, and he just need a little of their time.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you know when the story broke?
When?
Sunday morning.
Oh, good one.
All right, let's move on. But to name your baby after the mistress, boy, the caucasity.
Right.
Speaking of caucasity, Roseanne Barr is returning to stand-up comedy with her special on Fox Nation.
Oh, word.
Yeah, first of all, Fox Nation does comedy specials.
Republicans are funny.
I thought the bitch was white. God damn it! I thought the bitch was white. Fuck.
That's pretty funny to me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, last time I checked, they don't do comedy. If they do, it's terrible comedy.
I don't know.
I mean, she might be funny, but I don't know
I've
about
never
the
heard
rest
of them doing comedy.
Me
But
either.
yeah, Fox Nation is operated by Fox News Media, which is, man, you know, the craziest part is that Roseanne, and I'm sure those of a certain age do not remember and will not even be able to fathom this. She was kind of a feminist liberal icon.
Yeah. Yes, she was.
When her show came out, Roseanne,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, here finally is this woman that looks like us. She's talking about the fucking
She's breaking barriers.
She's talking about patriarchy and the put upon working mom and the promises of America that is failing the working class people. And her shows, it was all about like kind of gritty shit, you know, LGBTQ issues, sexual education, her kids having kids, and just a bunch of shit, pay equality. And it's like, it's such a head trip. I mean, she went home. Like, it's a head trip to me as a young person looking at her show like, oh man, okay, so that's what comedy can also do. And now being like, oh no, she just went back to being MAGA or whatever the fuck. Let's see. A driver calls a horse rider a middle-class twat in a row caught on camera.
Not a twat.
Listen, the white people are having trouble, Karen. Okay, this is what happens.
You know what I care about? The fact that you're telling me how fast.
This is what happens on white people news. Okay, they fighting over with the horses and the horse riders. You know, I thought the bike lanes wasn't safe, but the horse lanes, that's different.
You know what I care about? The fact that you're telling me how fast I can drive on the road.
You're going 60 to a 20.
It's not 20.
It's 20.
That's
It's
the
20
speed
by
limit
this.
applies.
It's 20 by this.
Keep filming me by all means.
I am filming you.
Make sure you put it on YouTube or wherever you put it, yeah. But make sure you realize you're middle class.
Nerves. I'm riding a horse.
Yeah, and talking like you've got in your mouth.
So
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, it's funny.
I think you said bollocks in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
It
am
is
in
quite
no
funny.
way.
It's like
It's a courtesy that people slow down for horses. It's
No,
not
it's
the
not. It's
law.
in the highway code. It's the law. It's the highway
It might
code.
be now, but it doesn't matter.
No,
'Cause I
it
didn't
is.
see you coming anyway. It's just that cat in there.
Now he lost me at the fact that he claiming to be in such a rush, but he just took all this time to argue with these women. Like, you probably just hate women or some shit. This motherfucker's like, can't you see I'm in a rush? I need to be there as soon as possible, but let me get you a piece of my mind. You middle class twat, and you're like, bruh, hit the gas, go. What's holding you up?
Nothing. You could have went on.
Thank God they don't have guns there.
It's forgotten the HRT this morning. He's now having a go at me because I went round the corner too fast.
Yeah, you nearly killed us.
I nearly killed you.
Yeah.
Now he's being hyperbolic. I nearly killed you. I didn't come anywhere near you.
Yes, you did.
I
You
came
said
near
you
you.
were there to slow
I'm
down.
this distance from you, and I
said
slowed
you were
right
there to
down as
slow
soon as I
down.
saw the horse. It's just Miss HRT there. Now, Miss HRT Karen there thought it was very.
He taking Karen. Karen done made it overseas.
Yeah, we internationally known now. What's HRT?
I don't know. The brand is strong with the Karens though.
Big and clever. I slowed down for the horse. Now go away and be middle class.
Just
somewhere else.
let's go.
I love how, because everybody's white, he had to use middle class as an insult. That's some specific level of insult. It's like, I can't call it the N-word. You middle class twat. Like, oh no, not middle class. What will I ever do? How I'm gonna live this down? I'll be like, thank you very much for noticing. I've tried so hard.
So hard.
And yeah, I don't know what a HRT is. I don't see where the article would explain it.
Right. That's
Yeah.
sound like that's some slang over there.
Someone to write in, but yeah. But shout out to the whites. That was actually such a calm thing. It wasn't even that bad.
And horses was involved.
Maitland Ward became a porn superstar and was shunned by Hollywood. The Daily Beast writes.
Okay.
Maitland Ward it was on Boy Meets World. I
Okay.
believe.
What character did she play?
I
remember Boy Meets World.
Not the one you're thinking
Not
of.
not the main person. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Not Topanga.
Yeah, not Topanga. But I can look it up real quick.
Okay, thank you.
She says she felt like a sexual prop on Boy Meet World, which is interesting because she is one now. Because she's a porn star now.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't it show her IMDb? IMDb blacked, deeper, white chicks. Okay. Now it says, oh wait, no, she really wasn't White Chicks. That not the porn, just the movie. I was like, it sounds like a porn title too. Okay, so Maitland Ward was in Boy Meets World as Rachel McGuire / receptionist.
Okay.
She also was on The Bold and Beautiful, Home Improvement.
Soap operas.
Yeah, those are her main roles. And then she went to Brazzers Extra in 2019. So 2007 was like her last role on TV series, and then after that it kind of turned into a lot. Lesbian X Raw 38. That's a good one.
Oh, did they put that on your IMDb now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, because it's a movie. I didn't think about that.
Lesbian Superstars, of course. VR Bangers. Who hasn't watched that? Poolside Affairs. Porn stars ask fans for dick pics, which is a video short.
Not Poolside Affair. That sounds like some Cinemax, some Skinemax.
Of course, she's done Blacked at least 3 times.
Of course.
Honestly, I think they're shorting her a few. I feel like they stopped counting in the pandemic or something.
Dakota did.
But yeah, you know her Blacked, unprofessional. We all do it too, and fertile. It's probably
we all do it too.
Probably a queen. That's probably a cream pie ending. But yeah, so she started doing porn, and she said that she basically has not been able to get back into Hollywood since. So they give her a whole long write up in the Daily Beast, and she wrote it like it's 8 minutes long. And I'm not reading all this because obviously, it's like, come on, man. This is not the kind of relationship that we want with our porn stars. Okay, it's very thoughtful of you, and I wish you the best, but ain't nobody reading 8 minutes. Okay, you got to keep it short,
right?
At least let me fast forward to the intro. All right, I'm done. Molly Cyrus is sued for posting photos of herself because they're paparazzi photos, which seems like the biggest, weirdest thing going these days. Because I recognize it's work, but paparazzi do work even when you're not asking them to do the work. So they can take a picture of you like doing anything, even if you ask them not to. But if you post that on your Instagram, like, look at this picture of me, they can sue you, and they be winning these.
Yeah, and that's why they can't fucking stand Beyonce. They take pictures of her. You know what she does? She take them same outfits, do a fucking photo shoot of herself in them same goddamn outfits, and they pitch a fucking fit every time she does that.
She's facing a copyright infringement lawsuit over posting a picture of herself to her Instagram when it's alleged she didn't have the right to use it. Photographer Robert Barbera, who took the image, sues Cyrus on Friday in California federal court. He claims the image she posted on Instagram in February 2021 was done so without his permission. He alleges Cyrus received a financial benefit from her infringing post, which boosted traffic to her account, increasing revenue generated by the sale of her music. Barbera claims Cyrus's impermissible use has crippled, if not destroyed, the potentiality of any market for the photograph.
Yeah, sometimes they be reaching. They be like, I took a picture and basically don't really care who uses it, but if you use it, I'm suing you because basically you got the money.
Yeah, he wants statutory damages as well. He said he tried to. He also reportedly seeking damages and penalties from Dua Lipa, as well. So I guess this is his thing: is anybody posts a picture from me, I'm suing them.
Right. So if celebrities are smart, they'll start taking their own pictures and posting them themselves.
I think a lot of them do. You have photographers that follow you around. Beyonce does that. So I can see other people doing it.
Right, because they would say it's just not worth dealing with that foolishness.
Alicia Cuthbert said, I was pressured into posing for men's magazines as a young actor. You probably thinking who?
Right.
She is Jack Bauer's daughter on 24.
Not Jack Bauer.
Yeah. She was Jack Bauer's daughter. She's starring in a series now called Happy Endings. But she said she posed for like Maxim and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
when she was younger.
Yeah, she said she doesn't look back on it with much pride. She said she never wanted to be part of that whole circus. There was really no option back then, she said, of avoiding shoots for men's magazines that highly sexualized women and typically ranked them on their physical appearance. That's what the film studio wanted you to do. And I believe her, because that was a thing at the time. I guess
yes,
to some extent it's still a thing, but we don't have spaces that we call men's magazines.
Mm-mm.
And for a lot of that stuff is moved to the internet, and at least you
Right.
can say you control your account. So
yes,
if you don't want to do it, I guess you don't have to, but
or you
still
can put
with-
images of yourself on your own shit.
and still, even with women's magazines and fashion magazines, it's still a lot of like, check out the rack on this person, and and you just hope that they're participating in it as a person that wants to do it. But I can imagine, especially when you're young, there's a lot of people that are pressuring you to do it.
Agreed.
So yeah, she acknowledged at the time those type of photo shoots were pretty common. We kind of ended up in a space at the time where that was really happening. I mean, Halle Berry was doing it, for God's sake. Jennifer Aniston was doing it. We were probably too young to be subjected to that and feeling pressure to do that. Although she admitted that the popular magazine she was featured in, like FHM, had millions of subscribers and offered a way to be seen and to promote anything you were doing at the time. She did question who had the authority to rate her attractiveness. What was that list? It was ridiculous. It's not like I won an Olympic medal. It was just some list some random magazine decided to create. Content. And
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like you say, all that just moved on to the internet.
Yeah, I mean, that's one area where we will always be shallow. Even women, it's not just a man thing.
Oh, no.
Even when they do the sexiest man thing, it's all just so we can slam whoever it is.
Of course.
Like whoever the fuck it is, we're gonna be like, let me tell you why this motherfucker's ugly. It's like John Legend, sexiest man of the year because he cares about Black Lives Matter. He gave money to Flint. We'd be like, this nigga's hairline is fucked up. It's like, yeah, it's all shallow and fucked up.
Of course.
But all right, last white people news. The Don't Worry Darling rollout has been a disaster.
Okay, I was like, we keep talking about this, and that movie ain't even out yet, is it?
I think, I don't know.
Oh, it's getting
In
ready to come out.
addition to being the one movie trailer besides Smile that I see in every fucking movie.
Oh, I'm so glad when that goddamn Smile come out. If I see that bitch one more time,
it's also a shit show. So Olivia Wilde is the director of the movie. She's also like, just one of those people in Hollywood that you know their face when you see it because she's in a lot of stuff. But unfortunately, I think she was also known as like, or maybe I'm thinking of Summer Glau, but one of them was known as like if you cast this person, your TV show gonna get canceled. I don't know if it's her or Summer Glau, but I know they were both one of them was considered that. But in this movie, Florence Pugh stars in it as the main star. Olivia Wilde is in it too, but Florence Pugh is the main star. You know her from the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is apparently Harry Styles, who's also in this movie, who replaced Shia LaBeouf, who was supposed to play that role.
Okay, and this is like the main dude who was with her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the rumor is Olivia Wilde started dating Harry Styles, cheated on her then husband Jason Sudeikis, who is
she did.
Yes.
Okay.
Who is Ted Lasso. So this is the rumor. I don't know if it's true, the timing, but the implication is she cheated on her husband with this dude who was also starring in her movie, which apparently Florence Pugh did not like. I mean, in addition to I never understand the Hollywood world anyway, because like it seemed like a lot of workplace fucked up shit would be happening, but if it's spun as like a romance or it's spun as like a relationship, people don't seem to mind. But when like the star of a movie starts fucking the lead actress or actor, it does to me always feel like, what was the power dynamic when a director, like when they showed Taika Waititi kicking it on the set of his movie with like his girlfriend and I can't remember her name, but like the woman that plays Valkyrie, and it's like, hey, that's not a workplace thing, Disney. That's cool.
That's
like,
why Disney stepped in, like, don't do that bullshit.
Yeah, like, because it just seemed like as much what we should have learned about the Me Too movement and stuff is you just could be 2 years away from someone being like, I felt manipulated, and like he had all the power. He was the director.
And
what was I
thing,
supposed to do?
We're dealing with a lawsuit. Don't do it.
Yeah, like it just seems kind of weird. But anyway, so yeah, she started dating Harry Styles allegedly. Tessa
Thompson, thank you.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson, yes. So July 2019, the film was announced. Early in 2020, she split with her longtime partner, Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis. The split wasn't publicly known until months later. The cast was announced, including Shia LaBeouf and Chris Pine and Florence Pugh. And then Shia LaBeouf departed the project and Harry Styles joined in his role. It was suggested at the time that the reason for his departure was a scheduling conflict. Not sure why she couldn't let sleeping dogs lie there, but she kind of pushed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So LaBeouf in December of 2020, 3 months later, is sued for abuse by FKA Twigs. Now, I don't know if you remember, they were dating for a while. She accused him of like emotional abuse and sexual battery, assault. Like it was bad.
We covered it a while ago, right?
Long time ago. This is 2020, so 2 years ago. And at the time, he had been. It was then alleged he was fired from Don't Worry, Darling. And Variety was saying insiders knew that he exhibited poor behavior, clashed with the cast and crew, including Olivia Wilde. Remember that. That's important.
Okay.
That's what the story became, right?
Mm-hmm.
January 2021, Wilde and Harry Styles are reported to be dating. So people are like, when did that start? This is also a person that stars in your film.
Right.
And yeah, they were holding hands attending a wedding, sparked a flurry of reports that they were romantically involved. February 2021, filming wraps. Wilde was particularly effusive of her praise of Harry Styles. Not only did he relish the opportunity to allow for our brilliant Florence Pugh to hold center stage as our Alice, but he infused every scene with a nuanced sense of humanity. He didn't have to join our circus, but he jumped on board with humility and grace and blew us all away every day with his talent, warmth, and ability to drive backwards. Wilde's remarks about Styles drew some criticism, with many questioning why she was praising him simply for conceding the lead role to the Oscar-nominated Pugh. So then April 2022, she was served with those custody papers while on stage at
I remember that because that was big news. They was like, we've been trying to serve you, and then she up there giving a speech, and some dude was like, here you go. Then August 11th, 2022, she praised Florence Pugh on Instagram. She said, wow, and so she so speculation had gradually grown on social media surrounding a supposed feud between Pugh and Wilde. Some followers have pointed out the lack of Don't Worry, Darling related social media posts on Pugh's part as an indication she had begun to distance herself from the film. In the glowing social media post, Wilde said it was a fucking thrill to watch Pugh work. The post was not shared or liked by Pugh, prompting further speculation among followers. She did, however, share her own post about the film shortly after. In August 16th, Pugh discussed the film in an interview with Harper's Bazaar. But some fans observed a conspicuous lack of discussion about either Wilde or Styles. She did, however, discuss the movie sex scenes, which had previously been championed by Wilde. When it's reduced to your sex scenes or to watch the most famous man in the world go down on someone, it's not why we do it, said the actor.
It is not why I'm in this industry. Obviously, the nature of hiring the most famous pop star in the world, and you're going to have conversations like that, that's just not what I'm going to be discussing, because the movie is bigger and better than that, and the people who made it are bigger and better than that. August 24th, Wild praises Pew and denies rumors of a pay disparity. In an interview, Wild lavished on Pew once again, called an extraordinary and clearly the most exciting young actress working today. She denied rumors that Styles had been paid 3 times Pew's salary for his work on the film. There's been a lot out there that I largely don't pay attention to, but the absurdity of invented clickbait and subsequent reaction regarding a non-existent pay disparity between our lead and supporting actors really upset me. She also rubbish talk of feuding, claiming tabloid media is a tool to pit women against one another and to shame them. August 24th, Wild says she fired Shia LaBeouf to protect the stars. So remember earlier I told you, remember, he left and it was
scheduling difference and
scheduling.
And that was the end of it.
Then he got accused of abusing his girlfriend at the time, FKA Twigs. Then she turned it into he was fired for being a piece of shit and we never wanted him around. And she says, I say this as someone who's such an admirer of his work. His process was not conducive to the ethos that I demand in my productions. He has a process that in some ways seems to require combative energy, and I don't personally believe that is conducive to the best performances. I believe that creating a safe, trusted environment in the best way is the best way to get people to do their best work. Ultimately, my responsibility is to the production and to the cast to protect them. That was my job. August 26th, 2 days later, Shia LaBeouf denies he was fired and then shared a video of Olivia Wilde that seemed to show the exact opposite of what she said.
Which means she didn't have to say anything. Like, he was like, we good? And she just kept pushing it. He's like, well, now you're going to force me to actually say something.
Very much an on goal, right?
Shia. I just went. So
this is context. This is her asking him not to quit after she said she fired him for being da-da-da-da. This is video of him showing, like, this is what she sent me. And this is her begging him to come back, not to quit.
Shia. I just went riding my horse, very sweaty, but I wanted to reach out because I feel like I'm not ready to give up on this yet, and I too am heartbroken, and I want to figure this out. And you know, I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo, and I want to know if you're open to giving this a shot.
Now, when she says I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo, she's talking about Florence Pugh.
Oh,
who she's been praising all this time on her Instagram, Great Young Wages. She said I fired this dude to protect the other actor, the cast. Many people assuming Florence Pugh, like, oh, she was trying to stop this abusive man on the set. Here's this video of her being like, Miss Flo needs a wake up call. Shia, please come back.
Okay, I thought something about her period. My bad. I was because people do flow in the course of a period. I like my period was on. I'm my bad, but she's talking about a person.
Right.
I'm sorry.
With me, with us. If she really commits, if she really puts her mind and heart into it at this point, and if you guys can make peace, and I respect your point of view, I respect hers, but if you guys can do it, what do you think? Is there hope? Is there hope? Will you let me know?
She clearly is throwing Florence under the bus with that. Like, oh, if she needs a wake-up call, if she can come around, he also says...
And it starts more riff on the set.
Well, the set has been off the set since February 2021. It's been wrapped. This is just promotion. But in her promotion, I noticed this online. In her promotion, she was taking shots at Jason Sudeikis. She was taking shots at Shia LaBeouf.
This lady?
Yes, Olivia Wilde, the director. Okay. And it really didn't seem like she needed to do that. But, maybe she felt like, now it's my turn to say my side of things. And you better have the facts on your side. Because this don't look like it.
No, it doesn't. And it also shows you have no control on your set. And so, next time people get to consider the director, they might cross you off the list because don't nobody want this drama on their sets.
Messy.
And feel like this, don't nobody want this shit after they wrap up. So now y'all got to go and push and promote and tour together with all this mess.
Hey, girl, I just wanted to let you girls know that I'm a real messy bitch. I'm a messy bitch who lives for drama.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to the steak in the table.
Because people are talking about this and not the goddamn movie.
So then he sent screenshots of his email and text exchanges because he seemed to be on some, and who knows, it could be narcissism, could be him trying to like control the whatever.
Narrative,
but
you
all
don't
I know
know.
is it didn't seem like he made up this evidence. So that doesn't make him a liar in this
Right.
moment, even if, you know,
There's
it
other
might
things
serve
happening.
some other purpose. But he's doing some like transformative, radical honesty type shit. And like he recently came out and said that the movie that I love that he did about his growing up with an abusive father, he just recently came out and said that was all bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah, he just recently came out and said that he feels like a piece of shit because he sold his father out when he said my father never hit me maybe once in my whole life. Honey Boy, that's it. And he said, you know, I wrote this movie to make him look like a piece of shit. I told everybody in the promotion it was like autobiographical type shit, and so everybody believed it. And he said, you know, my father told me he was so hurt when I talked to him about it because he was like, you know, how could you do this to me?
Right.
So that's, and nobody asked, it just came out. So my point is that's what he's on right now after the FKA Twigs thing. Maybe he thinks that's the new, like, I just need to be 100% honest and clean the slate and make amends and do the work. And part of that was her getting this work because he said, let's tell the whole truth.
Right.
So September 5th, so that was August 26th. September 5th, Olivia Wilde and the cast arrived at the Venice Film Festival.
Okay. Overseas, where they start basically doing them like them that can stuff where they start showing it to the critics, right?
Just can, but yes.
Oh, sorry, can.
What? But it was then it was rumored that Florence Pugh would not be attending the press conference, but it was clarified later that it was because her flight landed after the fact, that she would attend the red carpet. But even this, still, that's kind of sketchy,
right?
Because a lot of this film is being seen as Florence Pugh's like star turn, or like this, you know, like this might be that role for her, that, you know, this iconic thing, and she's not treating it that way. But then a reporter claims he was told not to ask Wilde questions about LaBeouf during the press conference. Wilde also gave conveniently vague answer when asked about rumors of a feud between her and Pugh. Pugh arrived in Venice to attend the premiere of the film later that night. While appearing on the red carpet, Pugh appeared to hint at the Discord when asked by a journalist what she found inspiring about the film. I think it's very, very inspiring to see a woman push back and say no and question everything. It's very exciting to see a woman do that on and off camera. Their stylist waited in the drama. Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh's stylist,
the people that do the hair.
Carla Welch, a Los Angeles-based stylist who frequently works with Wilde, shared a story on Instagram last night that apparently was in reference to the speculation. There's always more to the story, ... She wrote at the same time as reporting on the rumored feud was escalating. Welch post came around the same time as Florence Pugh's stylist was called, who called the actor Miss Flo in an Instagram post that was apparent job at Wilde. So the girls was fighting, the stylist was getting in on it.
Apparently so. The sisters is cutting.
Then September 6th, a bunch of clips of Chris Pine checking out. The premiere went viral, which is just him looking uninterested. And they did that thing they did to Ben Affleck. It's like here he is, and Chris Pine doesn't give a fuck, blah blah blah.
Right. And the thing about the stylist, guess what? I would stop going to you if I was the stylist, because it's one of the things where you're doing my fucking hair. Like,
it could be that simple, but who knows? Could be like a loyalty thing where they feel like they need to protect these people that, you know, put them up to it, or maybe you put them up to it and said, say something. I'm not gonna say it. I don't know. I mean, I imagine you dish with your stylist. Like, that's probably the person you do feel like, man, this bitch, can you believe this?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's one of the things where it's go, for somebody like me, I was like, this is not what I wanted you to do. But like you said, they may have wanted them to do it on their behalf.
Yeah. And so then clips of Harry Styles acting has been going around from the movie. And a lot of people have been saying he did a terrible job. He can't act. His accent is inconsistent. But that's like a TikTok thing.
Yeah, they complained about everything.
But don't worry, darling, comes out in cinemas this Friday, September 23rd. So y'all can go see it and know for yourself.
Promoting the hell out of it.
Okay. Enjoy that. You're welcome. People wanted us to weigh in on that drama, and we did. Talk Adam Levine. We weighed in on that too. We did a good job.
I think we did too. And I knew quite a few white people in this segment.
Listen, the whites has been up to something over there.
I could have, haven't they?
Nice and messy.
It's gonna be interesting to see how that movie does.
How that what movie does?
Yeah, when it comes,
As if I give a fuck. I'm not even gonna pretend to care.
No, I don't care either. But
Nope,
you know,
you said interesting. Don't
Yeah,
don't lie to the people now.
yeah, but I know people are gonna be tracking that shit, knowing all this mess been happening around it.
If it beat the Woman King, it's gonna say a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Ain't that the truth?
I know which of you blacks was telling the truth and which was lying. Albany man pleads not guilty to attacking another man with a sword. Albany, New York.
That's where I was born.
I was waiting on you to say
All right,
it.
thank you for that, Emma. A suspect in a gruesome attack
Oh wait, I need to put this on screen.
in Albany behind bars tonight as we learn some shocking new details about the case. Randall Mason pleaded not guilty today to a sword attack yesterday afternoon at the Community Connections Drop-In Center on Sheridan Avenue. According to the Times-Union newspaper, the victim is John Romano, the infamous Columbia High School shooter.
Oh wait, we covered this. Okay, it's just a different article about the same. Okay, well let's do a different one. Hold on. How about this? Schenectady,
I
New
know
York.
what that is. That's upstate New York.
Schenectady Police Department was called to a home on Daggett Terrace about 5:45 p.m. after hearing of a possible stabbing. Police say the suspects, one 17-year-old and one 38, were arguing when they pulled out knives. One of the knives was described by officers as a longer knife or sword. Both suspects had significant but non-life-threatening injuries after the alleged duel. One had injuries to the head, the other to the torso. According to the reports, the incident was non-domestic, so it's unlikely the two involved knew each other. That's even crazier. I thought it was gonna be like a father and a son or something. How do you meet another person that want to do stabbings? There's been no words on what started the argument or who escalated it. The investigation to the incident is ongoing. So there you go. We'll be back tomorrow with our Game of Thrones recap.
We will.
Make sure you guys go and check out This Too Much. And that's it. So until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.